Imagine all this from these beautiful memories to dates.
So I'm going to be actively involved in Mkhonto as a party and shape its direction and the politics that are obtaining today in South Africa. So that is to end the uncertainty or speculations that have been obtaining in terms of what is going to happen.
I stand before you to accept the decision of the Deputy President of the EFF, who has voluntarily resigned his positions and did not renew his membership. When he sent me a letter yesterday, I felt the same pain when I received the news of the passing away of my mother. Because Floyd, to me, is not just a comrade, it's a brother.
This organization, Mkhonto Wesizwe, because I believe that quite a number of you, when this organization will be having few years going up, you will feel that not to be in Mkhonto Wesizwe is almost committing something wrong. Because Mkhonto Wesizwe is the final answer of the problems of our country. The final answer.
A week. It is a very long time in politics, says a British politician. Yes. It's all a matter of time for you to figure out the kind of people who are surrounding you. It takes courage in order for you to last in politics. It takes a lot of revolutionary movement or actions in order for you to resist in the world of politics. With that being said, this left us with only one question in mind. Does the MK with Jacob Zuma in the mission to destroy the EFF? Does Jacob Zuma want to destroy the EFF in order for him to reign with the MK? Does former President Jacob Zuma trying to revenge himself on the EFF because of what they have done to him in the past in the parliament? These are indeed the questions which we would like to discuss with you in this video. Because when we look at the beginning of everything, before Jacob Zuma get to create this MK political party, it was all said that we want to have this political party in order for us to fight the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa, isn't it? These are the words which all of us we heard. But looking at how things are sitting on the table today, it does not seem like the mission are there to fight the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa, but instead the mission are even more clear in order for them to fight only the EFF. The Cyril Ramaphosa, who's the president of the country and the president of the ANC, who's supposed to be their target, it seems to be relaxing at the moment because no one is paying attention to him. Instead, the MK, they are more focused on the EFF to dish up EFF members. And it is now all about EFF versus MK. They are now fighting in all public platforms, whether it is through social medias, whether it's through interviews, any possible way they find in order for them to attack one another is what we are seeing right now. And with this being said, how will you trust this so-called the unity of black South Africans when there's still this kind of conflict among South Africans? Because the main targets which this political party come to its existence for, it seems being forgotten. And instead it is these two political parties now getting to try to see on how to destroy one another. So guys, let us have conversation on that one. The EFF, they are about to organize their National Assembly.
The EFF is set to elect new leadership at its National People's Assembly next month. It comes into its national conference on the back foot after a bruising few months.
That's where they get to nominate different leadership. And it is through this assembly where we get to see on how they discuss different matters such as the EFF policies. And this event will take place next month, which will be in December, by the way. But just a few weeks before that event took place, we are seeing EFF being put in a very hard task. We are seeing EFF with Julius Malema going through a lot. And all the members who are supposed to be focusing and preparing themselves in order for them to be elected or in order for them to vote their leadership, we are seeing on how all of them, they are leaving one by one and joining another political party, which is the MK. Well, after all, this is their choices. But we need to go back and try to drive you through this and try to understand, is it really their choices as they are telling us through the social medias, or is there any other kind of influence or motivations behind them leaving the EFF in order for them to go in the MK? Why do their choices have to be only the MK and not the the DA or the ANC of President Cyril Ramaphosa? Because as far I know, we have a lot of political parties in South Africa, but why their choices have to be based only on one political party? At first, we saw who was back then Deputy President of the EFF, FLOYD Shivambu, one of the founder of the EFF. He abandoned his own work that he had worked for more than 10 years. Something that he had put a lot of effort, sacrifice, countless nights that he could not be able to sleep. And yet he had to abandon everything in order for him to go and start something new, which it had already its own founder, who's Jacob Zuma. Well, I don't want to say much about that because we have tried to develop a couple of things about it and we give you our point of view through our analysis. But in the previous interview which FLOYD Shivambu had given to the different medias and some podcasts in the country, you heard FLOYD Shivambu trying to develop even more some of the reasons that motivate him to leave the EFF. But what interests me the most is when he was asked by my brother here that knowing the way we've been seeing you with Julius Malema, you guys, we see you as brothers because even Julius Malema always preach and telling people that you are brothers.
And he will remain a brother even when he pursues his political career differently.
You are more than friends. But how come all of a sudden you have to do something like this to your brother? Well, the answer that FLOYD Shivambu had given is what surprises me the most.
I still talk to some of the comrades in the EFF, except those who feel like they might be doubted for having engagements with me. I generally don't have problems with anyone, but I'm able to distinguish that there's a political relationship and like so-called brotherhood and everything else. Because sometimes this so-called brotherhood, it's not brotherhood, it borders on gangsterism, a gangster relationship that we're together. If a person is wrong, we can call each other to order. Like you defend each other even when a person is doing wrong things, is now venturing into wrong politics of being boastful and doing wrong things in public and everything else, and disrespecting people, and then you don't say anything because of brotherhood. You must be able to call out certain things that this is unacceptable and everything else. And if you realize that, so those things of the personal relationship can't override a political principle in the relations with everyone. So if a comrade misbehaves or does things which you realize that this is wrong, you must be able to call each other to order. Like, it's not gangster relationship where you say, we'll die together. Now, I used to say that, I'll never say that. I'll never. Like, if it's a political relationship, like, you can't promise to die next to each other in a political relationship. It's based on principle.
Sure.
If principle shifts, then we no longer relate the same way that we related before. So if you realize that there's certain areas of just divergence from what should define a revolutionary, you must be able to say, but this is not what I signed up for. This is not the character which I thought we're dealing with. And I'm not talking about the contextual relationship now with the president of the EFF. I'm talking generally in politics that we should relate to each other on political principles so that we're able to correct each other whenever something goes wrong. Yeah.
So, listening to him talking like that, already you will say that there was some conflict within themselves, whether it is Julius Malema, whether it is FLOYD SHIVAMBU. They were already being in conflict. And it was all about time for this secret or this truth to come to light. Because if they were brothers, I think FLOYD SHIVAMBU was going to confirm that. Because when they asked him about his relationship with Dr. Ndlozi, the answer that FLOYD SHIVAMBU gave, it was far different to the one he gave about Julius Malema.
What's your relationship with Dr. Ndlozi?
He's my brother. Like, Mbuyiseni is my brother, like in a true sense of brotherhood. My relationship with Mbuyiseni is not political relationship in J. It's a brotherhood relationship which has been there for more than 20 years now. So, like, you can imagine that he is not 40 yet, and I'm just 41 years old now. So if we have had the relationship for 20 years and a very trusting relationship, he's my brother, but he holds his own political views in terms of how we should handle some of these issues. I'll give you an example that when we were campaigning for the 2024 general elections, we had given a political guidance that there must not be any attack of leaders and political engagements between the EFF and Umkhonto we Sizwe, that because we potentially are going to have unity. But at some stage, he saw it fit to take a platform and delegitimize President Zuma based on what he could not do when he was the head of state and president. And it's his own views. He has got his own independent views in terms of how he articulates his own positions. I don't claim ownership of Komisambu is saying I will never claim ownership of his ideological direction or politics, but we've worked together for the longest time. We disagree on some of the issues, the tactical issues, but ideologically we're almost always aligned in terms of what is to be done. The issue is to how do we do that differently.
Given how you've characterized your relationship with him, have you tried perhaps, because remember you're building here, have you tried to recruit him to MK?
I think I just said earlier that I'm not in the process of recruiting leaders of
you
other
have just said
parties.
The way you relate to him is
I
more
know,
like a brother.
I know, but I know.
Speak about those things.
I want to assist you now that I'm not in the process of recruiting leaders of other political parties, but if they come, we're going to welcome them firmly.
And FLOYD SHIVAMBU, who had to go far by saying that Ndlozi is not only a comrade or a friend, but he's a brother, because I have known him for more than 20 years. We have done a lot of things. We have had different kind of misunderstanding, but at the end of the day, we still consider each other, or we still seeing each other as brothers. So see the kind of language which FLOYD SHIVAMBU is giving about Ndlozi, and see the kind of answer which is giving about Julius Malema. You can tell already that something's not adding up. Something's not sitting well. The kind of language is giving as an answer concerning Ndlozi. You will tell that actually something is being prepared as well. In the way of him, that's me talking And if you agree with me, thanks. If you don't agree with me, suit yourself. But according to my own understanding on this part of the interview, or this part of the answer, as Floyd Shivambu was giving it through this interview, you can tell that it's kind of like saying or calling for Ndlozi that, no, brother, you are a friend, you are everything to me. Where you are remaining is not the right place for you. You need to cross the other side of the border. Come and join us, and this side will treat you like brothers and not where you are. And brother, I've been with you. You know me very well, as much I do know you. Our family drinks and eat together, party together, and do different things together. So therefore, we don't need us as the head of our families to be in different political parties. You just have to come and join me. That is another way of understanding what Floyd Shivambu he was trying to say on this part of the interview. But Floyd Shivambu, when he made that move, he went to the MK. At first, it was all being said that no, it's not about post.
There is no specific position that have been assigned to me. There is no commitment or any promise of deployment to parliament or to anything. It's a decision that I have taken, and I think and believe that it will add meaningful value to the progressive and revolutionary politics that must be pursued by all the progressive forces in South Africa.
And here at Cool Buzz TV, we told you that there is no way Floyd Shivambu will abandon his hard work that he suffered for, something that belongs to him, because the EFF is part of him. There is no way he will leave everything just for him to go and start somewhere where he won't be having even a proper position. When we spoke about these things, some other people, they doubted us. Some other people, they even have to question themselves, like, what is this guy trying to talk about? But today, where are we? Isn't it now things are going accordingly to the plan of Floyd Shivambu, to the plan, to the way that they had agreed on? Because it was going to be also impossible for Floyd Shivambu to be nominated in this high position as he is right now, at the moment when he had joined the political party, because it was not going to look good. People, they were going to talk. Even those who were surrounding the former president Jacob Zuma, they were also going to get angry and start feeling like they're being neglected. And they'll feel like Jacob Zuma now is busy trying to entertain or give all the necessary, should I say, positions to these newcomers than these people who've been there for all this time. And that was something that the former president Jacob Zuma did not want to face with his own people. So obviously there were a certain kind of agreement, and proof to that today, as we are talking right now, Floyd Shivambu is being nominated as the SG of the Umkhonto weSizwe political party. That's not a small position. We all know that. We all know the kind of impact this political party, the positions in political party does have to every politicians out there. Some people don't even refuse to go in the parliament. Some people don't even refuse to become ministers in order for them to have this position. And we all know the kind of role it does play, especially when it comes to things like tenders. And we know when we're talking about tenders, we're talking about corruptions, and that is how politicians usually make money a lot. I give you the tender, you give me also something. You know, not all about corruption, like, no, you have to do this, but it's just like someone give you the market. What do you do in return? You need also to buy them a cold drink, which is normal somewhere, but even though it's still a corruption actions. So Floyd Shivambu, he got nominated, and then he said,
I'm humbled by the responsibility that we have been given to lead the organization as Secretary General. Of course, as part of the collective leadership that is under President Jacob Zuma, who has assigned us this responsibility to be Secretary General. So the appointment is a humbling experience. It's also a statement of saying that we should play the role that more or less we have been playing together with the recently outgone Secretary General, Dr. Siso Maseko, who did exceptionally very well.
Yes, FLOYD SHIVAMBU is now the new Secretary General of the Umkhonto party. We all know that before him, these positions, no one last there for more than 3 months or 6 months. It was all about they nominate you today, tomorrow they replace you with someone else. So it was just all mess up. Now, to show you that this is a position which was well put in place, they put everything in place for FLOYD SHIVAMBU. Wait and see. He's not going to leave there anytime soon. This position now is going to become kind of like a permanent position for him for some times. Mark my words, we still here, mark the day of today. Because when I'm saying this, we have to look back. How many Secretary General that the MK, they got so far, that they keep on exchanging in that position. This was a way of showing everyone who rotated in that seat that this is not your post. This post, it has to belong to someone. And once that person is available, is going to take this position. And that's what happened exactly. So it seemed like the MK with President Jacob Zuma, they were actually negotiating. They've been negotiating, looking around. Because remember, Jacob Zuma started a political party. But in need for this political party to be everywhere. Okay, to be everywhere. And in order for it to be everywhere, it needs certain kind of people, a certain categories of people who can come and do this job. And on the other side, FLOYD SHIVAMBU, he was the perfect candidate for that position. Why? Because we know what he have done in the EFF when it comes to place the party to the level that the party is supposed to be. Proof to that, look even the way he talks, he speaks about these positions. You can tell that the man knows this job very well and is so determined, promising everyone that by 2026, MK political party will be everywhere the country. So now, wait, you will see for yourself that they won't change him from that position anytime soon. Yes, they won't change him in that position anytime soon. Now, let me stop a little bit. Who nominated FLOYD SHIVAMBU there? Because I don't want you guys to feel like we're making this up, but I want us to be in the same page as we are trying to think together. Who nominated FLOYD SHIVAMBU in that position? Of course, is the old man of country himself, Jacob Zuma, who had nominated him in that position. But why he had nominated him in that position? Because as MK political party, that position is at least supposed to be something which has to come through elections or something like that. But in this case here, according to all the information we have in our possessions, is that the old man came with his decisions, he put it on the table, he just informed everyone and everyone ended up approving. That's another story for another day, which we'll have to discuss more about it. But when FLOYD SHIVAMBU, through the same interview, when they asked him a question of him being the head board that keep on dishing up all the EFF members in order for them to go and join the Umkhonto party, well, FLOYD SHIVAMBU had to say that
they joined Umkhonto by themselves out of their own political consciousness, out of their own appreciation that they believe that Umkhonto will play an important role and that they will make the necessary contribution. It is not my individual achievement. These are adults. These are people who have got huge political history. I mean, Advocate Mpofu, for instance, will be next year 50 years as an activist. Mzwane Lemanye has played several roles. He was a director general at some stage in his life. He had been a member of parliament. He was the president or chairperson of the Black Management Forum. Advocate Mkhwebane is an accomplished individual.
Now, here's the funny part. Funny part is that everyone who managed to join the Umkhonto we Sizwe political party, they seem all to have the same language. They seem to have the same idea or reasons that they get to give to the media whenever they're being asked these questions. Why did you leave or why did you left the EFF? Their answer, they give it in the same way. We're starting with Busisiwe Mkhwebane when she said that.
Indeed, I joined Umkhonto we Sizwe because I felt that it's the home which understands the persecution of the black people, the oppression, the challenges which we are facing and fighting the captured system. So I could relate with the constitution of Umkhonto we Sizwe. I mean, it's what it needs to be done to liberate our people. So angalahleki ngisekhaya. So I decided to accept.
Now, keep the answer of Busisiwe Mkhwebane in your mind. We'll back to it in a second. We have FLOYD SHIVAMBU himself. He had explained his reasons.
Majority of the leaders of the economic freedom fighters knew that I'm going to join Umkhonto we Sizwe party.
We have Dalimpofu, who just left last week, who had to say also the same thing.
This time it's really, as I say, it's a matter of where do I think I can make the best contribution and which of the progressive organizations do I think has got the biggest potential to unite all of us. I'm not, one of these people about what color of t-shirt you are wearing. I'm more about the cause itself, the broader movement. And I have a very big interest in that because I do feel that, for centuries, the reasons that we have been defeated by our enemy is because we have been fighting in silos, if you like. And they've never really had to face us as a formidable united force. And I think MK carries that promise much better than any other existing alternative.
So you'll note that everyone who left the EFF so far, they have been giving the same reasons, which is, if I have to summarize it for you, that we need to be united in order for us to defeat our enemy, in order for us to defeat oppressors. Okay, fine. That sounds good. That's a very beautiful idea, actually. And when you listen to someone such as Dalimpofu, he even went far and said that we've been being defeated all these years because we never been united. That's a very good illustrations that he gave them. But according to me, whenever I listen to them talking, without taking sides, I always ask myself this simple question, which is, this unity of black South Africans, this so-called unity that can make South Africa to defeat their oppressors, why they did not unite it when they were in the EFF? Why they did not unite around Julius Malema as their leader? When these people are saying this, are they trying to say that Julius Malema is not a leader that deserves to be united and go ahead and win this war against the South Africa oppressors? What confidence do they have or believe that it's only the MK with Jacob Zuma who are the right place or the right person to be united around for? That's just a question. Because if I have to go back It's just that we don't have all the time here, but I was gonna play you some videos of these same individuals when they first joined the EFF. What was their language? What did they say? Most of these people they are going one by one. Some of them, when they left the ANC, I can demonstrate it to you in black and white. What was they saying when they first left the ANC? You will see all of them, they will be coming with the same speech, with the same topic, with the same words. No, the EFF is people's choice. The EFF is the future. The EFF is that. The EFF this. They will say everything's in a positive ways regarding the EFF. Now, today, just because they don't want to be part of this EFF or they don't want to be next to Julius Malema, now they are kind of like pressing another new political party and believing that it is the one that can unite all South Africans. Guys, open your mind, open your eyes, try to think more properly. Then you will understand the main reason behind all this. Things are not that simple as you get to see it. These words are not that simple as you get to hear it coming from their mouth. There's something which is being prepared here. As we asked at the beginning of these videos, is the mission of the MK, Mkhonto weZizwe party, to destroy the EFF in order for them to reign? Or is it Jacob Zuma trying to revenge himself against the EFF leadership for what had happened in the past? Is it the Jacob Zuma in the mission to recruit all the EFF members in order for him to go and defeat the ANC? This so-called ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa that the former President Jacob Zuma he's been calling for, the Parliament, why is now seem to be relaxing? Instead, Jacob Zuma have 10, I'm referring to Jacob Zuma like a MK party because he's the president of MK party. They have 10 all their guns to face the EFF. Through social medias, they are attacking each other there. And the EFF, they have also to react. Of course, when I'm referring to EFF reacting, not in their official pages. Let us not mistaken here. I have not come across EFF, whether it is on Twitter or any kind of social media, seeing them attacking the leadership of MK or attacking FLOYD SHIVAMBU. Instead, what I have seen so far, it is EFF members who are so determined to defend their political party. They are the one who are responding or who are attacking back on the Mkhonto weZizwe party through their social media such as TikTok, Facebook, so on and so on. But on the other side of MK party, go in their official pages, you will see what they have to say. Yes, you will see what they have to say and you will tell already that something's not adding up here. Now, guys, why I ask you that question? Because we need to understand that if this unity, this spirit or idea of the Black South African to be united to one place through one political party under one leadership, if it was really true, if these people really mean their words or what they're saying, I think they should have started that with the EFF. Because so far, no one come forward and tell us what the EFF they have done wrong. Even those who left the EFF, no one have come forward and tell us that no, they were wrong on 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, the only impression we're having from all this is that, remember, the EFF, they keep on organizing this people assembly, national assembly. And as I said, it is a place where they get to elect new leadership. It's a place where they get to give members a free choice for them to elect whoever they want them to lead them. Excuse me. And on the other side, some of these people, they want to be elected. But their chances are fewer. Some of them, maybe they could just say that, no, Yes, last time for me to be elected, I was not elected with that massive voters. Instead, I was limited at a certain point. So this time, I don't think if I stand against this and so, will I be able to be re-elected? Some of them, they've been elected long time and their mandate finished. They tried for the second time. They were kicked out. They were replaced by other new leadership. And the only positions which seem to be lasting forever to those candidates who are participating in these EFF elections, it's the one of the president of EFF. And whenever Julius Malema put his ticket there, he always win. And so far, he have not come across challengers who can also come and say that we are taking over. Now, with that being said, you'll see that some people, they could just sense that, no, if it continue this way, I don't think I'll be able to be that, to be having that leadership as I want, or to be in the position actually that I want to be. On the other side, we're having Mkonto Wezizwe, who need members, who need people. And in order for you to come and get a better position in this political party, you better jump when the opportunities are still laughing at you. You better jump and grab these opportunities. And that's what is happening. That's why you see Bon Dalimpofu, when they go in, they say that, no, this is my own political party that I have started. On the other side, you're having Kumalo, who's coming also saying that, no, he's lying. Actually, was not even the founder. I'm the one of the political party with some other 6 members. So they'll keep contradicting each other like that. Why? Because that is politics. Politics, it works that way, guys. No one should not fool you. Politics works with the strategies. If you're not a strategist, you'll never gonna succeed in politics. If Jacob Zuma is succeeding today, it's because he came up with these strategies. But now that the war is open, yeah, no one should not come and fool you or lie to you and say that, no, there's nothing going on between EFF and the MK party. No, we can all see what is happening. We can all see what is happening. Because the MK with Jacob Zuma, they want to destroy the EFF. They want to take as much as people they can so that they can enforce up the MK to become even more powerful. But guys, I want to now discuss with you 2 points. And it is through these 2 points we are going to find out the future of 2 individuals. I'm talking about Jacob Zuma with MK, which is Mkonto Wezizwe. I'm talking about Julius Malema of the EFF, which is the Economic Freedom Fighters. How is the future looks like for these 2 sides that I just mentioned? Let us start with Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma, so far, everything seems to be very beautiful for him. Actually, life is smiling at Jacob Zuma right now. At the age of 82, doing this kind of amazing things that we are seeing right now, wow. There is no doubt that we can both agree that Jacob Zuma is a very big strategy in South Africa politics. Because many people, many politicians of his age, they were all saying no one could not be able to do what Jacob Zuma is doing right now at his age. He demonstrated everything in black and white. The men whom they had thought that they have finished him off with his own careers, political party careers, but it seemed to be there and is ready to face all these people. That is something that needs to be applauded for. And Jacob Zuma If he continue the way he's doing things, everything's right now, with this idea or strategies that is keep on applying, guys, I can guarantee you for sure that the MK party will go very far, to the point of even taking power. But that left us also with a small question mark there. The MK political party, they can be able to take power in South Africa politics if they succeed, or if they manage to demonstrate their power in the upcoming elections in 2026. And in 2029, at the general elections, they must be able to remove the ANC in power and take over. If they do so, then that would be very good things to do. But if they fail to do that, you know what will happen? Then, which means the future, whether it is for Jacob Zuma, whether it's for the MK, it won't be bright. Because there are certain chances that come in politics. It comes only once. Once you fail it, then you'll see yourself dropping down. That's not our wish, but we are just trying to figure out things, how things will look like in the future. With that being said, what about the man Jacob Zuma? What about the MK? You guys, you saw they had to ask FLOYD SHIVAMBU this question again, because this is a question many people are asking. Why are they asking? Because we know that all of us, sooner or later, will die. The Bible says it, that those who live knows very well that some days they'll die. And we all know that we die as we grow up. The more we grow up, the fewer days we are remaining with on this planet. So looking at the age of former President Jacob Zuma, anything can happen. We don't wish so. We love him so much. He's very friendly, very funny. He plays very big roles in South Africa politics. He's such kind of very big motivations for many youth out there. But the reality is that sooner or later, we might wake up one day and we hear some sad news concerning the old men of Kantla. But how would be the future of the MK as a political party? FLOYD SHIVAMBU, he had to give the answer to this question.
There's a lot of emphasis on the president. One wonders if Umkhonto weSizwe can exist without the main founder, which is the president of it, President Zuma.
So this is how organizations are founded. They are founded by individuals. They don't just exist from the sky. They don't fall from the sky. They are founded by individuals who must give it the organizational and ideological direction. There's no doubt, it's actually beyond any doubt that President Zuma is the founder of Umkhonto weSizwe, and it is still at its formative stages.
I think I understand that.
Yes.
But you and I know former President Zuma is not a young man anymore.
Yes.
And then at some point, some will have to come and take over. In the constitution of the MK party, there's no provision for the elective conference. How do you envisage to navigate that eventuality, that at some point, so as someone who will exit the stage in terms of handing over to the younger ones, how are you going to navigate that stage?
So, you know, part of the ideological, political guidance that is provided by President Zuma now is that we are founding an organization, and if you want to base that organization on elective conferences, you're going to make it vulnerable and accessible to factional politics, but also to influence of money that is going to come from wrong sources to influence its direction and even capture it for wrong purposes. So we're founding the organization based on these principles that are founded in the Constitution in terms of what happens. We are not thinking about the departure of President Zuma, because we know he's not about to depart now. He's still strong. He's giving us the political guidance. And once the organization has gained its full traction, it's founded in all the voting districts and all the wards in all the sub-regions, regions, provinces. And once it has been able to overcome some of its immediate challenges, perhaps hindsight, or maybe later on, will then be able to reflect as to what do we do differently? How do we constitute the processes of selecting leadership, or do we assign that responsibility to someone else? But that will happen as and when we come across the bridge. We are not obsessed about that particular aspect. The immediate task that we have now, which is defined in the Constitution, is to build the presence of the organization in all corners of South Africa. And we're going to do exactly that.
I get you. That's,
Yes.
that's for the future, from
Yes.
what you are saying.
Yes.
But as I'm saying, God forbid, nothing happens to President Zuma.
Nothing will happen to President Zuma.
But you and I, so are not God.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So-
Do you know? And we are.
Okay,
also,
here's what I want to ask.
Yes.
What if tomorrow something happens? He is incapacitated in one way or the other. How do you then get to
we don't work.
resolve the leadership issue?
We don't work on those postulations. We are not even working on those postulations. What we know now is that the leadership collective which President Zuma has assembled thus far is a responsible leadership that knows what has to happen, if anything were to happen. And we don't even think about that, by the way. So we've got the responsible and capable leadership that knows that we carry a collective and individual mandates and obligations to build a united organization which is not just pursuing unity internally, but also seek to unite all the progressive forces. So there is absolutely no confusion, and I wouldn't think that we would write a constitution and a framework based on suspicions or superstitions that someone is going to disappear. We know what we're doing. President Zuma is leading us now, and we all of us know, responsibly know, what should happen if you said God forbid, and we say that as well, that, and we know that there's nothing that is going to happen wrong to President Zuma.
FLOYD SHIVAMBU rejected these questions because he had faith that that won't be the case. Well, as I said here, like all of us, we don't want such things to happen. But it's possible, because if you go to the cemetery right now, there are people who are being buried. There are people who are dying each and every second in the hospitals. So whether we like it or not, all of us, that it is our way that we'll have to go through some days when that moment arrives. But the concerns here was all about how will things look like to the place where they does not organize elections, where it is one person who takes decisions, where it's one person who nominate and remove, where it's one person who does so and so and so and so. The answer of FLOYD SHIVAMBU was very clear to say that no, the Mkhonto Wesizwe, it has its leadership, high profile leaderships, and these members, they know what to do. Well, we shall wait and see when that moment comes. Us will be here to remind of what he said. So, that is on the side of the Mkhonto Wesizwe party, right? Now, let us go back to the side of the EFF with Julius Malema. First of all, what would be the future of the EFF without the leader of Julius Malema? Because with all this high profile which used to be in the EFF, they have left this political party. Can you have an idea of how the future will look tomorrow if himself, Julius Malema, is not there, whether he's not alive, whether he's being suspended from the political party, whether he retire, whether it could be they maybe not vote for him? How would be the future of the EFF? The answer to that is that the future, it depends on the members of the EFF, especially during this time. For those who will resist against all these temptations in order for them to abandon the EFF, to go and start something new somewhere else. If they resist, which means the future will be bright. If they don't resist, which means the future won't be that bright. Because look what put the EFF together like members, look, all of them, majority of the EFF members, they're youth. Okay? Now look on the other side of the MK political party. Even people who are being recruited, besides the one that we get to see coming here and that in the EFF. Look, the majority over there. Well, we might say that maybe they have not started doing their rally all over. But look, the majority of people who are over there, you will tell that EFF have more youth than the MK. Now, what about the EFF? What about Julius Malema? Is it finished for Julius Malema? I'll say no. I'll say no. Why? Because, guys, let us not intimidate Julius Malema. And most of all, let us not forget who's Julius Malema and what he have done in South Africa politics. Let us not forget the impact that Julius Malema have in South Africa politics or internationals. Yes, because if we have to look first of all in the international side, whether it is in Africa continent or Asia or America, name it as you wish, the impact that Julius Malema have is not the same as the one of Jacob Zuma. If Julius Malema and Jacob Zuma stand here today, they have to speak. And people can have to listen to them or obey to them. Trust me, Julius Malema is working with a clear 3 points on that sector. Like him or not, but the men have a very big impact out there. Let us not also forget the kind of influence someone such as Julius Malema have. Most of all, let us not forget what Julius Malema he have done in South Africa politics. Jacob Zuma is sitting there, even though he's trying to use his strategy to see on how, what to do, who to take, who to put here and that, deep down, he knows who's Julius Malema. So only because of that, let us not forget that Julius Malema is still alive. Because people such as Julius Malema, they will always find a way out. Maybe right now they hit them that knockout by Mkonto Wezui's party. It's down. I mean, like it or not, right now, Julius Malema is going through a lot, guys. They knock him down like that nice knockdown of the old man. He's down like he's going through a lot. I can just imagine the kind of stress he's having. I can just imagine the kind of worries he's having. Who's going to live again next? Who's going to do this and that? But at the same time, don't forget, I strongly believe that he's up to something. I believe maybe he just want to also to see the loyalty of EFF members. You want to see who's going to stay here. Because remember, Julius Malema did not only predicted of some members leaving the EFF. No. He spoke. He said it before. This is the man who came forward and telling you guys that no, I was not aware that SHIVAMBU was leaving the EFF. But the next things he have the guts to tell you that no, there will be many members who will be leaving the EFF to join the deputy president.
FLOYD is not the only one. Jimmy Manyi has also resigned to go and join MK. And there will be many others who are going to leave the EFF because they've got their loyalty and support to the deputy president. So fighters on the ground should be prepared for more people to follow. And this should not serve as a point of collapse for the EFF. This is a testing moment. The organization that has lived beyond 10 years has never been through this testing moment. The EFF will have to pass this test or it will have to die. And we, as members and leaders of the EFF, will defend its life, will make sure it lives forever for generations to come.
Where did he get such kind of informations? Isn't it he have to sit on his own and understand who was Floyd Shivambu next to him, what kind of role he played in the EFF, what he was playing in the EFF, what kind of influence he have, who loves him, and he has to figure out everything in order for him to come to the conclusion of saying that there will be even more members who will follow him. That's why you see he's not even surprised about people such as Dalim Mpofu leaving. Dalim Mpofu, who's a co-founder of the EFF. Don't forget that. When we were talking about Marikana, people were there defending people from Marikana. That was Dalim Mpofu. That was Dalim Mpofu. And him leaving the EFF, in another way, it is whoever recruit him in the MK party, those are people who want to win the vote of Marikaners. So he abandoned something which he had started. Well, Dalim Mpofu might be convinced to join the MK party, but do people of Marikana also convinced to abandon the EFF who've been fighting for them for all these years? Do the widow of Marikana ready to abandon the EFF in order for them to go and vote for MK party? That's another question. We're leaving it for now. On the next elections, it will tell us exactly where these people or where these widows of Marikanas stands. So, like it or not, Julius Malema is one of South African strategic politicians. And one thing for sure is that he's not going anywhere. He's still there. Guys, we're talking about the same Julius Malema who had fought Jacob Zuma in the parliament day and night, toe to toe, until Jacob Zuma was removed in the office. Are you forgetting that? We're talking about Julius Malema, who organized a national shutdown. That is not an easy target for you to reach as a politician, because you are instructing the entire country. They have to obey to what we have to say. Did national shutdown took place in this country? Yes or no? Did people want to work did people want to work on that day? Yes or no? Did school open on that day? Yes or no? So it takes a leader, it takes a strategy, it takes an influencer in order for such actions to take place. And Julius Malema is succeed to do all these things. We are talking about a man who have raised a lot of things in these countries that took place. We are talking about a man who had challenged dictators in Africa continent. He exposed them. Some of them, they even banned him from not entering their countries. Eh? We are talking about a man who made the Western shake. Queen of England, no Julius Malema. England politicians, England medias, they know who's Julius Malema. France, they know who's Julius Malema. We can't even mention America. They know who's Julius Malema. That is the kind of a person you guys, you are thinking that is being defeated. No, it is not yet over, because we don't know what tomorrow to hold. So, before you quit, before you insult, before you criticize the man called Julius Malema, just think of all those things and ask yourself a question. Because as you know, there's some people, they call him, they say that he have a, how do you call this? He have a giraffe view. They are not saying all that for nothing. I believe it's because they had a couple of things which they have noticed, like, no, I think this guy was right on this. And then they give him all the credit. You always say things which he can be insulted for, being sold for out for by his own brothers and sisters, being refused to vote, to be voted by people in the country, just to find out that no, later on, the man was actually right. So, we shall wait and see what will be his next move. We shall wait and see what will be his next actions. But according to us, we strongly believe that he's still waiting for this EFF People National Assembly to take place. The EFF could, to have a new leadership, and from there, you guys are gonna get to see the true color or the true position of the EFF or of Julius Malema. If he got reacted, then we'll see what will be his next move concerning the MK. Because whether we like it or not, now the ANC, which is another topic, we'll talk it in our next videos, they're now having a better option. Akiri, these are the same people who were busy being excited to work with the DA. Now that the now that the DA is busy showing them flames in this government of national unity, they are now having other better options out there. Probably they would love maybe to work with the EFF, give them a couple of posts in the government, and collect these other small parties and then create their own majority. Who knows? Who knows? Because one thing for sure is that if the ANC did not work with with the EFF in this government of national unity, it's all because, one, they were under pressure of DA, who had come out and called the coalitions of EFF and Mkonto Wezize. It is like a doomsdays. So they were under pressure of that slogan. On the other side, we're having Mkonto Wezize, which does not get along with the ANC. So at the same time, we're having the EFF, who believe that no, they can be associated with the MK party. But now with all these things going on, the MK attacking them, EFF responding back or attacking them as well, I don't know. That is politics. Hence, I always tell you guys that don't put your trust in politics and politicians, because they can break your heart. They can disappoint you. I'm telling you. Who would have imagined that someday we'll wake up and see someone such as a FLOYD SHIVAMBU or Dalimpov leaving the EFF? So there's so many who can do this kind of things. They can disappoint you. So whenever you believe in politicians, just have that, prepare yourself, have that small space for deceptions. In order there's any kind of disappointment, then you'll be able to accommodate it. Otherwise, you'll die with heart attack. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time to listen to us, to this conversation we had with you this evening. It was very important that we sit down here and have this conversation, because we want to clarify certain things. We want to see the difference between the man called Jacob Zuma and the EFF leader Julius Malema, or the MK as a political party, or the EFF, and the reasons that motivate most of these members to leave the EFF, and how the future look for both political parties with their leaders. So I hope I did not offend anyone in this conversation. We're just trying to discuss politics. We're just trying to comment on politics. So if I offended you in any way, or maybe say something against your leader that you believe or trust the most, I just have to apologize. But that is just our point of view, you know, as a freedom of speech. So you are also free to share also your point of view with us through the comment section. You just have to comment down and tell us whether we are wrong or not, and we'll have a look on that, okay? But do us a favor before you leave. Make sure that you hit your thumbs up like this video in your numbers. We really do appreciate. This is a Pan-African platform that we have put in place for you, where we get to discuss matters that concern Africa continent with Africans. Okay, so South Africa is part of Africa, and we believe that we have to have this kind of conversation to try to make you understand certain things. So if you feel like we have said something that benefits you, and you would love to hear more from us, well, it's very simple. You just have to hit that subscribe button right now, so that whenever we're here live, you'll be able to catch up with us. So with that being said, that will be all for now. Continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.